Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, man. No, thanks. Thanks for coming.
Oh, man, pleasure to be here.
I appreciate it. Honestly, I really do. Like how valuable your time is
Oh,
with everything that's happened.
yeah. It's not like I'm busy, but time is valuable.
Yeah, you got your son, Ivo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to start. Actually, before I start, I mean, if anyone's listening or watching, and they don't know who you are, I'm just gonna fill in what I know. Like,
Yeah.
you grew up, you were bullied a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot.
Oh, no,
but
enough.
yeah.
It inspired you to do some weights, get jacked, protect yourself, right? You get a bit older, you join the military for a bit, get trained. At one point or another, you were New Zealand's most successful stripper. Could you say that?
Yeah, definitely.
At one point or another?
I wouldn't say another. I'd just say yeah.
You were.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I remember you telling me, like, you were killing the game and other dudes were, like, happy getting kegs of beer and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wrestling world champion.
No, New Zealand champion.
New Zealand.
For under 100 kg, I was New Zealand champion twice. I'd win competitions overseas, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember you used to go to Vegas and like do the arm wrestling comps,
Yeah, Vegas and LA and yeah. I've done pretty well for myself. But no, not. I wouldn't say world champion.
Okay, you're champion of NZ at least.
Yeah.
And then most recently, you battled brain cancer, and they told you it was like terminal, like.
Yeah, it's inoperable and.
What? Sorry.
Inoperable. So
like they can't operate on it.
Yeah, it's right in the center, right on the thalamus, and yeah, so it's I didn't expect it to last this long. Just put it that way. It's
and like when they were real to you, your their expectations of you were what?
Well, they didn't. My oncologist didn't like saying how long. I said, "Well, how long have I got, doc?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't like talking about things like that. We just were looking at, ways to treat this." And so you have to do your own research, and every bit of research, every time you Google it in a different way, if you add something or you take something out, or it's I'm living anywhere between 6 months to 2-3 years. It's like
crazy.
It's hard because there's the cancer's different, whether it's methylated or not, whether it's unencapsulated or unencapsulated.
What does that mean? If you can explain it.
I don't really know. I didn't really care so much. It's like, okay, if
this is the one I got.
This is one I've got.
This is the one I got to treat.
Yeah. Then let me see the ways to fight it. I probably should do more research into it being methylated or unmethylated. But at least I know what it is. And
because I know with like when I was vegan and like I had to take B12 supplements, there was
methylated B12.
Yeah, cyanocobalamin, methylcobalamin, and there was another one. I forgot the other one. But methyl, they apparently was the most like it got absorbed the best. Yeah. So I don't know how that translates to having a brain tumor, but we're not that smart.
It's there's encapsulated and unencapsulated. So basically, imagine if you had a big cyst on your back or something like that, and you popped it out, and it was in a little capsule.
Oh, okay, I get what you mean.
Or if it was just just all goo,
just the meat,
just all liquid in it, so and it'd run through everything. So luckily, I'm encapsulated. I've got it.
Oh, because if it just popped on its own,
or like if it just grew like a
goo that's growing,
or like an octopus, basically. It's reaching everywhere.
I don't know if you understand the reference. It's like that Pokemon Muck. Have you seen that Pokemon?
No, don't we have it here?
But I'll show you, bro. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
that's probably exactly what it is.
It's like that Muck Pokemon. Muck Pokemon, like this dude. Yeah. Just Muck.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's like I'd really like to get into more detail about that. But was there anything you want to add? Just to like.
Oh well, yeah. Well, but there's.
Because I want to start actually from the beginning and make our way to like how you actually overcame, like this. Was it? It's a tumor, right? Is it a tumor? Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's more than one as well.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was 3.
Like side by side or in like different spots?
Well, it could be 2. It was one. The one right on the thalamus was growing forward, and it had like a horn on it or something. It looked like it was just growing forward towards my nose, and they didn't know. When these scans are like, looking at it round and around, and it's like, oh, we don't know if it's joined or not. Okay. But this one in the front and one of the bigger one, and then I had another one that was just a small one that they could hardly see, but it was definitely there towards the front of my right top of my skull. And now that one's gone altogether, and the smaller one looks like it's the smaller one that looks like it might have been part of the first one looks like it might be gone as well, and what I'm left with is the larger one.
So you just have the larger one left?
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like on the scan.
Yeah.
So that's technically in remission because it's like shrinking.
Yeah.
And they're like,
and it's people. I say to people, I'm in remission. People are like, oh yay, like.
Yeah, but it's not over.
No, it's, people. You normally hear about people in remission, and then 6 months later they're dead. It's good. It's like.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point because, like, I think most people kind of have the understanding of like that's the win. Yeah. But no, that's just the beginning of the win. You got to keep.
You've won the battle, but you
haven't won the war yet.
Not even close.
Yeah. And I guess like as an everyday person, the majority of people don't get cancer, so it's not like you or like have a family member that has cancer. So it's not like you're gonna be like educated into the terms of having cancer.
Mm. And a lot of people don't want to do the research.
Yes,
because it's a terrible thing to think about. Or when you have a family member with cancer, you don't want to start searching about what it means. Because most of the time, almost every time, it's something that's really bad. You don't want to go, oh yeah, look, Auntie's got cancer and now let me read about it, and it's like, holy shit, fuck, that's terrible.
Yeah. Some messed up shit.
Yeah, you're not going to read anything and find out something good.
Yeah.
You're going to read something and go, oh, there we go, 5% survival rate or something. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's just going to like depress you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking.
And so it was, I was researching all the time.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Well, I'm still
4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Well, at least.
At least that's.
Because I will like go to bed at around about 7:30 and just like read, until 11 o'clock.
Like books online. Or,
yeah. And and I don't.
Because like from hearing like what you said, was he called an oncologist?
Yeah.
That's like a brain doctor or something.
Oh, the cancer
doctor.
Yeah.
Like they haven't figured it out, right? Like they know just as much as Google does, kind of thing. Or Google, there's, you know what I mean? Like they haven't figured it out. So you're like, okay, sweet. This is what they can tell me. Now I need to do more research and trial and error things to figure out what's going to work to win the war.
Yeah, and that thing, research, people are going, oh, I did my research. It's like, what, you Googled something? That's not research. There are people out there doing...
That's a search.
Doing research, man. You Googled something. I'd say what I'm doing is research because most of the time I'm on Google Scholar, not Google.
Yeah, right? You're reading like proper like scientific.
Yeah, so if you go like if you Google Google Scholar. You go to Google Scholar, it's a difference.
That's all the peer-reviewed journals?
Yeah, so you're looking at everything, and you got to know how to read science. It's
understand the terminology,
and the formulas and the words that are spoken. Are just like go right over my head sometimes, and I've got a research background. I've just,
what's the background?
I've done. I tend not to finish my degrees.
You just like,
I just like doing papers and like nursing and human growth and development, and I was a medic in the army, so studying about different things, and I've just I could never read a book, so I struggled reading, and I thought I was stupid because I'd read half a page of a fiction book, and I'd go, I don't know what I've just read. I've just been thinking about something else all the way.
This is fucking boring.
I read the first couple of lines, and it sort of triggers something else in my mind, and go, oh yeah, and think about this, and I'm still reading it, and I go, nah, I don't know what I just read.
You're like unconsciously reading it, and you're not actually conscious of what's coming.
But I've thought about lots of other things, so I could never keep my mind on track when it came to that sort of stuff. But I love textbooks because it was a piece of information, and I could absorb that, think about it, and read it again, and go, oh man, that's really interesting. Okay, let me get to the next.
And was it because you could apply the information?
I just could understand it, and I found it valuable.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because it can actually do something in your life compared to reading.
Well, it's, ever since I was a kid, it was.
Like, give me an example of that.
Like in biology, and going to class, as a 14, 15-year-old, you learn about their biology, and it's like, wow, okay, let me read that bit. Oh, that's really interesting. I'd remember it forever because it's just like, okay, that's it. But
I agree with that.
Reading a book about something that wasn't real, I couldn't.
No,
I was like, well, that's,
and it's not in our reality as well.
Yeah, I can watch a movie about it, but I can't.
You can't read it.
I've never in my life read a book apart from a children's book, but textbooks and reading about the science, reading research, I absorb that easy.
Do you think that's a personality trait? So
I think
just remembering things that are super interesting, like for your life, or for a long period of time.
Well, yeah, I thought I was dumb when I was growing up because I couldn't absorb that information the way the teachers wanted me to absorb the information.
So it was like more or less teachers putting that on you. Did anyone say that?
Well, that's the way it was. I mean, if you didn't know, if you couldn't read or you couldn't do math, you were stupid. If you get the dance routines we used to do.
Yeah.
If you get someone that was a genius in math, and they try to do those,
True.
I mean, they would look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So there are different types of intelligence.
100%.
There's physical intelligence, there's emotional intelligence, and I was really emotional and intelligent. I could see, if people are upset, I'd be able to talk to my friends, as primary school age about how they're feeling. I was emotionally intelligent, but I never knew it.
Sure.
People
no one teaches you that.
Yeah. People came to me with their problems, and but I still thought I was dumb.
Yeah.
Like my mate, and when we were in the intermediate, we both, we say, oh, if you had like 3 wishes, what would be the number one, or what would be the 3 wishes? And both of us said, to be brainy. And so, because it affected us so much, because we were stupid. That's what we thought.
In school, if I know what that feels like as well. I moved around to 7 different schools.
Yeah.
So I was at a different school every year with a different teacher. teaching me in a different style, teaching me in a different way, and I was always fucking lost.
Yeah.
Plus my handwriting's fucking horrible.
So mine's worse now.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, I know how you feel, and like, it's especially when in our culture, it's like the focus of intelligence is just like book smarts and like I don't know, what would you call this? It's pretty much just like memory, you know, mostly just remembering shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
But if you're emotionally intelligent, or if you're physically intelligent, you know, those are really important things. You know, spatially intelligent, be able to park a car, you know, be able to know where you are in time and space.
Yeah. That's when you look at people like I'm guessing you watch UFC, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Adesanya.
Yeah.
His spatial awareness. Bones Jones. Spatial awareness.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like, it's, you know, and those things are like, I'm guessing it's a gift and it's self-taught, right?
Yeah.
But like, where can you go to be taught these things?
I mean, you can have a natural sort of way of doing things and then be taught and build on that, you know, or if someone even just compliments you on something, and then you can feel like good about it, and it can grow within you.
Sure.
You know, so because I didn't have that when I was young, and my skill set wasn't, and people weren't complimenting me on it.
And I guess it's hard for you to believe in yourself and be aware of your skills and talents if the people around you who's meant to be supporting you and building you up can't help you notice that.
Yeah.
You know, like you're a kid, you come into the world, you don't know shit about the world. Like I remember seeing my daughters, like the first time I put them on grass, they don't know what the fuck grass is, right? They're like, they're like freaking out.
Falling over.
Yeah, about walking on grass. They look like a dog. You know those dogs that have like those shoes?
Yeah.
And they look like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, it's the same shit when you're in school, you're 5, 6, 7 years old. You don't know why the fuck you're in school. It's just like, oh yeah, it's a cultural thing. Go to school. It's going to be fun. Blah, blah, blah. Like sit in a classroom 4 hours a day.
And there's, you know, and there's things that you can't get better at after a certain age, you know. There's like, you know, balance is a great thing, because when you develop balance as a child, you keep it basically forever, unless you have some brain injury or something happens. But you can, if you're really good at balancing on things when you're a kid, and then later on in life you haven't done anything for a while, you've been, you know, sitting in a chair at work and that sort of stuff, and it's like, oh man, I used to be such really good at balance and be on the triple beam balance and do different things, and you can get all that back, you know. Yeah,
like muscle memory kind of thing.
Kind of like that.
But is it
but if you never had it, you can't get it back.
Sure.
You know.
Or do you think you're too far gone?
No, because if you're too far gone, but you still had it, you can get it back.
Sure.
You can get balance back, but an adult you can't gain it.
Is it like when you're like, well, actually, before I ask that question, what's the cutoff age? Like you're saying, like there's a certain time period of your life when you're a kid where you can develop stuff that you can't develop as an adult. What's the time frame of that?
Everybody develops in different stages,
but
right?
Is there any like generalizations or anything?
Yeah, around about sort of 14 or 15, you know, and girls go through puberty first, you know, so their developmental stages are faster usually.
Different hormones, etc.
I mean, I had a mate who was always tiny, and he was, you know, 14, and he was real short. It's like, shit, man, he's going to be like that forever now. Yeah. And then just every year would just be growing taller and taller and taller until he's almost as tall as me.
Crazy.
And it's like, man, you're like one of the shortest in the class at 14, and now we're like 16, you know, 2 years, and you're just massive.
Well, that was Michael Jordan as well, right? In high school, he couldn't make the team because he was too short.
Oh yeah.
And then he had like a massive growth spurt the summer or something, and went from like 5 foot something to 6'6", and then he was playing in like the best college team in the States, you know, like.
Sometimes in America, the parents give their kids growth hormone so they get taller.
I'm not surprised. This is a business, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're a poor family and your kid can make you millions of dollars and all you got to do is go to the doctor and pretend like you're all messed up and you need some HGH and it costs you $1,000.
Or you can just get it on the black market.
People going to do it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, check out all these like Jamaican sprinters. Yeah, of course, they probably have the best genetic gene pool in the world for sprinting.
Yeah.
But
if you add something to that,
and you put in like their situation where they're a poor island.
Yeah.
What other opportunities do they have? What do you think they're gonna do? Like,
no matter what, they're still gonna win anyway.
Yeah, like if you took it away from everyone, they'd still win.
Yeah.
But the people in developed countries that have resources can get these things and edge you out.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do that to make sure that your natural talents can balance out. Like everything's balanced, you know, you're on the same playing field.
You know, you can quite openly talk about how black people are better at things. But if you talk about how a white person is better at something, man, you're gonna get fucking cancelled immediately.
Cancel culture, bro. Cancel culture. It's man, I mean, that's a problem, man. That's such a problem.
Yeah. Like if you get a 6 foot black guy and a 6 foot white guy, and I saw this in a textbook, a science textbook, and it's hard for me to it's hard to try to find it now because people think, you know, you trying to compare black and white people is all of a sudden a terrible thing. But a 6 foot white guy and a six foot black guy, well, they're built completely different, and we know that, right? But typically, black guys have got longer legs, right? And white guys have got longer torsos. So black guys are faster, right? Those big long legs, they're gonna outsprint the guy. You know, sometimes there's white guys who are built the same as black guys, but not very often.
Not often, yeah.
You know, like in the bodybuilding world, it's hard for a guy to have a real beautiful looking physique because normally white guys have got long torsos, and for that beautiful physique, they want those really small torsos, so short and tiny torsos.
Yeah, they're like thicker dudes.
Yeah, and they're long, and they've got real long torso, and it's like just doesn't quite look right next to a black guy, and they're beautiful, man.
Yeah,
you
those dudes.
Fuck.
Those dudes are aesthetic, man. And you know, like I actually thought a lot about this because, you know, growing up, I'm still pretty fast. Like I broke all my school records.
Yeah.
I never had any
at all 7 schools.
At all 7 schools. I was like, yo, fuck.
I don't know who that guy was, man. I don't remember him, but he still got the record.
Break the record. Next school, mum. Fuck, let's move house. Next school, bro. All 7 schools and my university.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, yeah, bro. I never had any training because obviously, like, I was never in one place long enough for anyone to notice, like, oh man, like you're pretty athletic, like you should do this, get trained. No, like,
yeah,
we're moving to another house, another area, you know. And so I like broke all my school records. Like, but I got a video of me beating a Nigerian dude at my school and making the school record. And this guy's he's fast, man. I'll show you. Like, you know, like I was beating black dudes, but I mean, in saying that, my mom's like half black. She's like native Fijian, and they're Melanesians.
Oh man,
ethnically from Africa.
Yeah. Like
when you said long legs, short torso, I was like, oh fuck, that's me.
Fijians, man. If they were given the money, you know, the given the opportunities, and
if they had
the
some
systems,
discipline.
well, you know,
that's another thing. Yeah.
But if you put a sports center, a high performance sports center in Fiji or in Samoa and Tonga, man, they're just gonna destroy everybody.
Yeah, they're insane, man. Like, you know, when I used to go home and see my cousins, like they're freaks. But yeah,
I did the first time I did 100 kg bench press. My mate who's Tongan came in and it's like, oh bro, how do you you know, I'm not gonna, if I imitate a Tongan, I'm gonna get killed. But he goes, oh bro, how do I do it? Just lay down, you know, talk to me. And then he laid down for the first time on a bench press and did 100 kilos.
How big is this guy?
He was just probably the same size as me at that. I was probably around about 85, 90 kilos. and I trained, since I was like 10 or 11 doing weights. And this guy lays down for the first time and didn't do it as easy as me, but still benched 100 kilos as a 15-year-old. Yeah. He goes, oh man, that was hard. I was like, what the hell? Damn you, bro.
Didn't they do a study and find that Tongans have the highest bone density in the world out of any ethnic group?
I don't know if that's if that was just a story made up by somebody, we need another person to like fact check some shit, people are like, taro is a legal form of steroids.
I've heard that bullshit. Don't work, man. Don't work. Bro. Check out this, man. This was me in my senior year of high school, breaking the 200 and 100 record. And hold on a minute. So,
did someone film that on their Nokia 3310?
This is the potato version before iPhones, bro.
Oh, sweet, bro.
It's just me and this Nigerian dude, and everyone's like way in the back. And I think this was the 100 final.
Or was that the 200?
Yeah, that was the 200. And then this was the 100 final. And this guy was like training and stuff, bro.
And you just edged him out?
Just edged him out, yeah. But this guy was like training and stuff. I remember I'd go to school and like him and this Fijian dude, like they were good friends. And they're like, oh yeah, we at Mount Smart training on the track, blah blah. Bro, I was just going home like jogging, bro. You know what I mean? It was crazy. And at Auckland Champs, I'd always be like top 5. And you'd have to make top 3 to go down to Wellington for like New Zealand Champs. Yeah. Never made it. But like, I remember I was always in the final. And my first year of high school, I raced this dude. He was African Māori. Yeah. And at year 9, me and him were about the same speed. And by year 11, I saw that he had a coach at Auckland. Like, he had this dude filming him. Yeah. He was like filming him and stuff. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like filming him, and he'd like go talk to his coach, and he was like, oh yeah, you gotta lean like this, blah blah, and giving him all these pointers. And I was like, whoa, why did you get that? Like, I was like, you can have a coach for this? Like, I didn't even know, bro. Yeah. And by senior year, this guy's breaking records. This guy was blitzing everyone, man. And I was like at the time I didn't realize, and I think he's got like the 110 meter hurdle record for New Zealand right now. Yeah. His name's Josh Hawkins. And I was like, man, if I got trained, like, me and this dude was literally...
Bro, what are you're living in the past already, bro? Well, how old are you now?
I'm 28.
Wow. And, bro, you got to think about how good you are, how great you are.
Dude, now. I know what I got now, man. I'm working on some shit. I'm working on some shit,
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I found myself kind of like, oh, man, if only... If only, man, I had the right training, blah blah blah. If I got into that, but you do that for too long, and you don't realize what you got. Man, I realize what I got now.
Actually, I agree with you, because I realized like there was a lot of opportunities that at the time I wanted. When that happened, I was like, man, like I should have been trained. Yeah. Right, and then I went to Australia for to do like rugby league. And because I was real fast, and I played for Queensland, Fiji, snapped all my ligaments in my left foot at 18. And I really like the game that happened. There was like scouts there and stuff. And we had a competition a month later where there was like scouts, and I played, and I just like fucked it up again. Yeah. And I was like, man, I really wanted that. If I didn't get injured, blah, 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 blah. But now in retrospect, 10 years later, like... about a year ago, my body was fucking wrecked, man. Yeah. Like imbalances all over the place. And for the past year, like all the fitness and health knowledge I've built up has equipped me to figure out how to fix all my issues. Not just myself, but also like following other people's programs and researching this and this and that. And I've kind of like intuitively figured out ways to move my body better and fix imbalances. And I'm like, if all that shit didn't happen to me, if I was given these other opportunities, or I earned these other opportunities, it would have been a totally different path. I wouldn't be where I am today. And now I'm in a position where I'm like, man, I'm fixing my body. I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. Once I've completely like figured out the whole spectrum, like planned it out, put it down in the training programs and stuff, I can help other people out now. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm like starting to see the bigger picture of things.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to learn all the stuff that I've learned as far as, posture and biomechanics and, strength versus speed versus quickness versus explosive power. These
so many aspects, eh? I actually remember me and Josh, we came to your house once, and like my posture used to be like,
your posture is terrible.
It was horrible. It's better now, right?
Yeah, it is.
I fixed it. I figured it out.
Had that real kyphosis.
Yeah, it was.
And you really concentrated on those, on your upper abs were tight.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I remember you pulled my hair.
Yeah.
You were like, you see this? Your head should be like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that, man. I was like, oh yeah.
Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over ankles. And if you go to the gym and you train really hard, you just become a stronger version of your shitty self.
Yeah.
And if you've got an imbalance and you go to the gym, then
it's gonna be exposed.
You're going to likely to make it stronger, because if it's even in things like yoga, because people are like, I'm terrible at that stretch. And they'll do a bit of yoga at home and they'll do the stuff that they're good at, because people don't like doing stuff that they're bad at, so people would move towards the easiest pathway in all ways of life, right? Take the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And, you'll want to take the path that you're really strong at. Guys go to the gym and they're like, oh, I'm really strong at bench press. I'm really strong at bicep curls, and they'll go, okay, I'm really weak at that. And some things you're naturally weaker at, and that's the way it should be.
So that's why people skip leg day.
But the ratio of strength, things like your quadriceps compared to your hamstrings, it's like 100 to 60, 100 to 70 max, depending on what sort of sport. But your quad's always going to be stronger. You're always going to be able to leg extension more than you can leg curl, right?
But you're saying like you need to keep those percentages 100%, like as in your quads are 30% stronger than your hamstrings.
Yeah. So, and it's different for different people in different sports. You don't have to have the correct ratio, and between left and right as well. If you go, oh yeah, I've got this much strength on my right side, but I'm not that strong on my left side. Well, imagine if you're like Valerie Adams.
Yeah, true.
You're going to spend all that time on your left arm just to make sure you've got balance? No way.
Yeah.
If you're the world champion throwing, a discus or a shot put or a javelin, you're not going to spend all that time on your other arm, your non-dominant arm. So, of course, you've got to have imbalances. And those imbalances are going to cause problems, because they're going to give you pain. And then you're going to have to get them treated. This is just, unfortunately, that's the way it goes. But, you do things you've got to work on some balance, but you can't have a perfect balance, right? And same thing can be said about life, right? You can't know everything. You got
to pick what you want.
Yeah.
And you got to work on that.
You can't be a genius at everything. There's definitely imbalances in life, and you go, right, if you need to learn about something, then you can't just forget about it, right? It's like having kids. It's like, you got to do a bit of research, man.
Oh, dude.
You can't just go, oh, my parents did it this way, or my grandparents did it this way, or my friends did it this way. You got to do a little bit of research you got to listen to the experts. But yeah, you want to be good at being a parent, man.
Oh, I agree, man. I've read books and I've looked stuff up and we've tried stuff, and
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's challenging.
Yeah, you don't say, oh, I'm not very good at that, so I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah, you can't do that with kids, man. Like that's the thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like you can't. That's the thing. Like, you know, and actually, that's something I've experienced. You know, like personally for me, when it comes to health and fitness, and eating, nutrition, all the stuff, been very disciplined for like 10, 11 years. I've had times where I've like fallen off or had injuries or been sick or whatever or traveled, but like I'd say being conservative, at least 75% of these 10, 11 years, I've been like disciplined and like been doing
that's
stuff.
The thing I like about you, man, was, you don't do things by halves,
Never.
like you became a vegan and you did it, and it wasn't like
5 years.
Oh, you weren't gonna like eat burgers on the weekend or anything like that. You just like you went for it and you learned about it, and you made a decision and you stuck to it. And I don't think it's the healthiest way of living.
I agree now. I agree.
But I didn't want to try to talk you out of it.
Yeah.
I just because it would be, you're well informed, and it was like, well, you're a man, you're well informed.
Yeah,
you
make your own decisions.
Go for it. But yeah, you did look a bit grey, and now
man.
And I was sometimes like, oh, should I say this and give him some research? But I was like, no, he's he's a grown man, he can make his own decisions.
People said things from time to time.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, you tried it out yourself, and for a long time, and I can definitely see, it's not all just personally, about yourself, about having good nutrition. It's about killing other animals.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to have access. Like my parents got a little section, and with some sheep, and they used to have cows and stuff, and we'd know what they'd eat. We cows are supposed to eat grass.
Yeah, organic. Yeah,
and they're not supposed to eat the feed. It's all that's corn and all. When in life is cows eating corn? Or
no one's eating corn. Who's eating corn? Corn's a grass.
And you see on a packet of chicken, corn-fed chicken. It's like, no, they're not supposed to eat corn.
They're meant to eat worms.
Yeah, and insects and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm lucky to have that access where I've got grass-fed beef and grass-fed sheep.
And that's great to have that connection to like your food, and actually understand like where it's from and how they live their life before they were cut up on your plate. Because I mean, there's a big disconnection with people, and like, even for me personally, even though I used to, like, I'd probably spent at least 2 years in Fiji, like going there every Christmas for a couple of months at a time, and like seeing my cousins, uncles, like cut open goats and stuff, and chop off chicken's head and eat them and everything. Like, it wasn't enough time for me to have that connection, like, oh, they eat worms, oh, these cows are eating grass, etc., etc. Like, the majority of my, how would I say it, programming is here in the modern world. Do you know what I mean? And like, you just have no connection to what your food is. And people don't understand that. And people don't understand that, like, if you eat McDonald's every day and someone eats you, like, you're going to be an unhealthy dinner. You're going to be filled with, like, all kinds of crap.
I think I told you, because I can't remember if I told you or not, but I rung my mate after he had knee surgery, and I said, bro, how did it go? And he goes, oh man, I don't really remember anything, but it feels all pretty numb now, so I just got to go home and go to bed. And I said, what are you doing right now? Because, he was rustling around. He goes, I just picked up some food. And I said, what are you eating? He goes, oh, McDonald's. I go, bro, you just had knee surgery. You know, you're in a state of repair right now. There's going to be part of you that's McDonald's for the rest of your life. Your knee is going to be McDonald's. And it's like,
straight facts.
And then
facts.
I just hear something, I hear something, and I go, what was that? He goes, I just chucked it out the window. What, he's just driving. And I was like, bro, you don't have to litter. You don't have to chuck your McDonald's out the window. He goes, bro, that's disgusting. I feel like fucking going home and sicking up. But yeah,
that's straight facts, man.
Yeah, he was McDonald's. And it's like, man, you want to repair yourself, and it's you're in a constant state of repair. You know, you're in a constant state of rebuilding and autophagy.
Your body needs like the good resources.
Yeah.
Like you get shitty. You give your a house like fucked up wood and stuff.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a fucked up house.
Yeah,
you get some good quality premium wood, etc.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a strong house. It's gonna last a long time. It's gonna be a lot easier to repair that house long term than having a shitty house. There's gonna be so many repairs, and that's why you see that with people. Like in real life today, obesity, diabetes.
Yeah.
Man, I was at the park this morning with my girls, and there was three Islander girls. They were sisters, and the oldest one, she must have been only about like 12 max. She had like real full on eczema behind her knees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's food.
Yeah.
You're overweight. You're 12. You have like these crazy scabs behind your knees. That's food.
Mm.
Like, and obviously the mum's overweight as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging them to be like, oh, you guys are fat, blah blah blah. But health wise, yeah, it's fucked up. Like,
yeah,
you're just passing on like the legacy you're giving to your kids. It's a bad legacy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like if you grow up in a family where your dad is abusive and all you see is abuse, he's passing that on to you.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with eating habits and lifestyle. You're passing that on to someone. And it's very difficult for someone to get a legacy, right? That they just think it's a part of them. No, it's going through your whole family. And to have the realization, awareness, and consciousness to be like, oh, I didn't choose this programming.
Yeah.
I didn't choose this.
Well,
how do I choose my programming? How do I change this?
Polynesian people come over here and, they eat the white man's food, and obviously the language barrier and racism and all that sort of stuff. They don't get the jobs that are paid that well, and they've got a certain amount of money to spend, and bad food is cheaper.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
Like people say, oh, it's
I see that pack.
It's real healthy it's cheap to eat healthy. No, it's not. If you want to feed a family of 5 and do it healthy, and fill them up, it's expensive, man. If you can spend like $12 at a fish and chip shop,
get a massive
and get a $1 loaf of bread, sliced white bread,
tomato sauce.
Yep. And margarine, which is terrible, right?
Hydrogenated stuff. Oh man.
And it's like, all these terrible vegetable oils, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
Right. And it's tasty. Lots of salt,
lots of fat.
Yeah. So salty, fatty goodness. It's perfect. But and you've got then you've got these cultures that are naturally so much stronger and athletic, and they're just
Africans and West Africans. Yeah, West Africans.
People from Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesians. It's and they're just getting destroyed.
I've thought about that, and I have a theory. This is just my intuitive theory of like, when islanders come over here, or even like you look at even African people when they start eating, the modern diet.
Yeah.
And they look horrible, man.
Yeah.
Like it's mostly adipose tissue, whereas like the Europeans more have visceral fat. around their organs,
in
general. So it looks worse as well. But like,
but that's that fat around the organs.
that's bad as well.
It's that's the killer, man.
Yeah.
But I just looking at a study like 2 days ago about having muscle mass is more important than having a low body fat count.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if you're
true. Yeah.
If you're really skinny, didn't have much muscle on you, but you had a bit of a belly on you, people think, they're relatively healthy, right? Because they were so small.
Yeah.
But you look at a guy who's got lots of muscle mass on him, but a bit of a belly, and you think, he probably could lose some weight because he's no, because muscle mass is so important.
Well, is that because it's the metabolism? Is it to do with metabolism?
Yeah, a lot to do with metabolism. The muscle takes a lot of energy just being there, right?
Yeah.
It's fat doesn't really burn any calories, right? But muscle burns calories. It just sits there.
Yeah, fat is the calorie storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that muscle burns or our body uses, correct?
I mean, there's some things we eat. It's for neutral calories because the
What's an example of that?
Like
calories.
eating green vegetables or like leafy greens, right? They've got a certain calorie count, but you chewing them and digesting it,
sure.
and the energy that you do from digestion is more than what you're taking
isn't that with celery? It's like negative calories or something. Like that's the best example, right?
Yeah.
Celery, yeah.
Or watercress and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Any sort of green leafy vegetables, you're not. It's going to be impossible to get fat from that.
I was actually, I agree with you, and I was gonna say before about like the islander people, like obviously you stated like the situation that they get in once they're in a country like New Zealand or Australia,
right? Anywhere apart from with their homeland,
and like cause I've stayed and like spent a lot of time in Fiji. The mindset there is like, don't waste any food.
Yeah.
Don't waste any food. If you're hungry, if you're full, like you got to eat this because tomorrow, like we don't have a fridge.
Yeah.
This is going off. You got to eat this.
Yeah.
You need all the energy you can get. It's not like you can't be fussy.
You
know what I mean? So
then they get to New Zealand and food's abundant.
I feel like they have that same mindset when they're here.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
And they haven't translated that to like, hey, there's not much food on the island, so we got to make the most of everything, to, we can just get all the food we want, and you're not changing your software.
Yeah. And
you're just like eating all the time. And even when you're full, you're going to start eating like, it's not going to work.
Plus it's insult, if you don't.
Yeah, that's another islander thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you don't eat their food, they're insulted by you.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's my mum, like, bro, when I had friends over and like my mum would give out, like, you don't get to choose your plate of food. They give you a plate of food.
Yep.
There's a difference.
And you got to finish what's on your plate.
And you got to finish it. And if you don't finish it, like, they'll be pissed at you. I've had friends like leave and they didn't finish, and my mum was like, what the fuck is that monkey not eating food? Like, like insulting them and shit, you know? And I had my Samoa mate, Metu, bro, he'd just eat everything. Yeah. He would eat like at least 2 or 3 plates, and my mum loved him because he just ate all the food. Yeah. Like, that's just how it is.
And when they become less active as they grow older, man, they just get, Polynesians just get real big. Diabetes, gout. Yeah. And it's for overweight people or obese people, it's they wear their problem on their sleeve. That you can see their problem because they're so big. All people that are overweight. So people look down on them. But someone who does drugs or someone who does, and I'm not trying to make it say they're equal things, right? But someone who you can have a guy that beats his wife, every night, and then walks around and people don't look at him poorly because he's doing.
It's like the optics of the problem.
Yeah. People's the thing is, if your problem is, out of all the millions of problems in the world, if your problem is being overweight or obese, people see you and judge you. But any other problem, it's hidden away,
Yeah, but I also think that not just culture, but like getting obese and overeating, I think it's more psychological than it is. Well, I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, you eat crap, and like your body doesn't get the micronutrients it needs, so it still wants you to eat because it's trying to find the nutrients.
Yeah.
So you're gonna start overeating, trying to get nutrients, but you're never gonna get nutrients because you're eating shit.
Yeah. Or sometimes people are just thirsty, right?
And they eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah. Oh, let me drink a Big Mac. And it's like then you have like psychologically where they're not happy with their life or whatever. They're stressed. They're stress eating. They're not happy. They're depressed. Things are not going their way, and
you want that dopamine hit.
Yeah,
you want that sugar.
Yeah, you want a dopamine hit. It's gonna help you for 5-10 minutes. It's gonna help you.
And then you want another hit,
and that it's like a.
Then you're a junkie.
Yeah, it's the worst addiction in the world, man. It is.
Yeah,
it's
kills crazy. It kills everybody. Unless you're an obese person that has a car accident and gets taken out another way. But it's like me with cancer.
That should be like a mean, it should be a major focus like in our society and culture, to educate people like on health and nutrition, and like healthy food should be subsidized so that general population could be healthier.
Yeah, and fast food needs to be taxed big time.
Yeah, and like people, like just imagine, right? Like it's like society is kind of incentivizing you to be a loser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we're making things easy for you to be a loser.
Yeah, and we're conditioning you to feel a particular way.
Yeah, conditioning you to feel it, so you keep being addicted to the stuff we're selling you.
Yeah.
So we can make profits, etc., etc. But it's like, okay, yeah, short term, yeah, you might make more profits, but overall, as a society, if you put the investment and make a little bit less money, and the overall population is like way healthier and people are more productive and can actually use their brains properly.
Yeah, then people won't get so depressed.
Yeah, then you're going to save a lot of money on healthcare.
Yep.
You're going to save a lot of money on psychology, etc., etc. Like, and you're going to have people that are more empowered and have more brain power, that have more ideas that can be manifested into the world, that could actually make the world a better place.
Yep.
It's like... Yeah, short term, okay, I understand. Business, yeah, you want to make money, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But
pharmaceutical companies, they don't.
Yeah.
They finding a cure isn't for anything. Isn't profitable. One pill and you're done.
Nah, they don't want that.
No,
bro. They don't want that.
Yeah.
One injection and you're done. Nah, they don't want that. Now you need 4, 5. Now you need a booster.
Yeah.
Oh, now you need a flu shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy world, man. And when you start really thinking about it, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? This is just, it's insane.
Yeah, and it's hard for people who are realizing it, because they see what's wrong, and it's like, what can I do? And
how you mean, like,
let's see how the world is run.
Oh yeah,
pharmaceutical companies, governments, parliaments.
People become apathetic.
Yeah.
Because
even if they do figure it out, they just like, it's too much for them to think of.
How are you gonna get the resources?
Yeah.
So
all you can do is look after yourself and look after your family.
But I think in terms of that, I mean, just being an example to other people, that's really the best you can do.
Yeah.
Live your life the best. Share the knowledge you can to enlighten and empower other people. And actually, the name of what I'm going to name this podcast is
Bronco.
Bronco podcast. If you don't know, Levi, we'll get into that when we talk about some stripping stories. You put a brother and an uncle together, Super Saiyan fusion, you get a Bronco. That's Levi. But who are we talking about again?
You got to name the name of the podcast.
The 100th monkey experiment or 100 monkeys experiment.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably go 100 monkeys experiment. Have you heard of this experiment?
No.
It's actually an experiment.
It sounds familiar.
Fascinated me a long time ago. I was younger. I must have been like early 20s or like late teens. And I don't know, just look up interesting shit on YouTube, you know. And I came across the study, and there was like a mini documentary about it, and it was in Japan, and they were like had all these islands, right, like multiple islands spread out, separated, with the same species of monkey, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why they were doing it, but they started giving all the monkeys sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Like they'd just put it in the sand. And that like all the monkeys would start eating sweet potatoes, but they're kind of annoyed because there's sand in it, you know, but they're still hungry, so they still eat the sweet potatoes, you know. And then like enough time went by, and on one island like a bunch of kid monkeys like found out that if you drop the sweet potato in the seawater and then take it out, it washes off the sand, and then you can eat the sweet potato without sand and enjoy it better. Yeah, there's a bunch of baby monkeys. Yeah, this goes back to being a kid and learning some shit. Yeah, you know. Anyway, yeah. So these, like after more time passed, and then fucking all the baby monkeys are doing it. Now all the adults on the island are doing it, but
just one island.
Yeah, just one island. Yeah. They don't have cell phones, iPhones. They don't have internet. They can't talk to other monkeys, right? And by the time 100 monkeys on that island learned how to do that, every other monkey on every other island knew how to do it. Fucking crazy. Yeah, it's incredible, man. It was just like they shared a consciousness somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. They can't prove it, but my like. It's like, oh, they must share some kind of connection. Yeah. And they've actually done the same studies with rats in the US on the east and west coast of the US. They train like rats or some or mice on one side of the US coastline to go through some maze. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
Yeah, and then like they get enough of them to figure out this maze to get cheese. And then like they track like the beginning rats. It took them fucking a long time to figure out the maze. Yeah. By the time they go to the other side of the coast, like boom, they got it straight away. Because it's like maybe it's 100 rats, 50 rats, 200 rats, 1,000 rats. I don't know what their species number is, but with monkeys it's 100. Yeah. with those monkeys it's 100, right? Yeah. And I'm thinking like when I was thinking about this podcast, I was like, man, like, you know, what's the number for people? Yeah. You know, what's the number for people? Like, we're pretty much monkeys. We're like big monkeys. Smart, real intelligent monkeys.
What if it's happening right now?
Yeah, what if it's happening now? What if the shift is happening now? Like, is it 1 million people?
Or a negative shift?
Yeah. It could be a shift anyway, you know? Like, do we need 100 million people? 1 billion people? Like, I don't know what the number is, but I was just thinking, man, if this, like, if I could just help spread some knowledge to people, and you know, try get the monkey numbers up, then we might have a chance. People gonna know some shit that they didn't have to necessarily learn. It'll become like intuitive within their consciousness because we share some kind of consciousness. It's like, bro, it's like when ducks and like birds and stuff, when they fly around the world, they just know. Yeah, they just know. Like, why? How do they know? Like, I don't know, but they know, and that they actually reckon like birds and stuff. It goes off like magnets and shit. Like, it's, you know, like connected to the earth. Yeah. You know, like we're all like we're all like
magnets and shit. That's real scientific, right? You know, magnets and shit. Yeah, man, I know about magnets and shit.
Because like we're all actually like electromagnetically charged creatures. You know what I mean? Even us, like our heart is electromagnetic. My dad's got a pacemaker, you know, to help keep that going.
Yeah,
all that shit. So it's like somehow those ducks and birds, their magnet can connect to the earth to figure out where to go. Maybe our magnet, I don't know what our magnet does, but with 100 monkeys, you can figure out how to eat good sweet potato.
Yeah.
You know, like what can we do?
Solve the rest of the world's problems.
What can we do with people? Like, you know,
there's another study, and I've been trying to find it for years, but there might have been a documentary, or I may have read about it.
Is it something about helping the human race?
No, it's about putting people on a pedestal, and about famous people and so there was these chimpanzees, and they the scientists, they treated a group of chimpanzees differently. Like they gave them special food, they put them they gave them there was less time that they were involved with the other chimpanzees.
Less or more time?
Less time.
Oh, okay.
Like, so they became kind of like, oh, wow.
Antisocial. Yeah. So they're in their own world.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then basically they treated these group of chimpanzees like celebrities.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
So, and so what they did is they put these posters up of these famous chimpanzees. And so when the chimpanzees were let out to eat, they didn't go to the food. They went up to the posters of the chimpanzees to look at the famous chimps.
That's crazy. That's your mojo.
So they were like, wow, there are these famous chimpanzees. Let's look at them rather than eat.
That's us, bro.
It's us.
That's
right?
us. That's us. That's majority of people on Instagram.
Yeah, they want to be famous, and they want to look at famous people. Yeah.
Oh, so status, eh?
Basically, man, we're just chimps.
We are chimps, bro. That's why I'm doing this experiment, man. We need to learn how to eat sweet potato. Come on.
Gotta rinse that food with salt water.
Gotta rinse that shit, man. You need your minerals in that salt water. Come on. Yeah.
Oh man, we've talked about so much different shit.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is cool, man. But you know what's funny?
Well, what title do you give this? Man?
I don't know.
Man, how do we?
I'll just be like,
talk about everything.
What I'll do actually, I'll like, you know, Levi, Jason Holley, podcast number, blah blah blah, and then I'll probably, once I get through editing, I'll just like do a bunch of clips and name the clips of like random little shit we've talked about. You know, I can't explain all this shit in one long video. I'll clip it. I'll make another channel with clips.
Yeah, I say, if you join our Patreon, then you can listen to the whole thing unedited.
Yeah, uncensored, unedited. Yeah, man. Dude, actually, you know when you're talking about that horn that was becoming like a horn in your brain or some shit. Actually, before I get to that quickly. The monkey thing. It's real hard to find that now on YouTube. Real hard, man. Yeah. Like 10 years ago, I found it was like heaps of videos about it with a lot of views. Now I can hardly find it. Yeah. Good question. Why people don't want? Why YouTube doesn't want the world to know about the 100 monkey experiment? I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, I can't find that piece of research about.
It's crazy.
About the famous chimpanzees. Yeah, I can't find it anywhere.
That's probably because it will show people that we're monkeys and we shouldn't be doing this shit. Like, we've proven it with other monkeys, other smart monkeys, that we're pretty much monkeys and we shouldn't do that shit, or we're just going to be savage monkeys. Right? Like, we want to, like, be a better human race. We want to advance like as a civilization. Then
Wow.
or just be better as people.
Yeah, a lot of us don't want us. A lot of humans don't want that at all. They just want to keep us dumb.
Keep on the iPhone. Keep going to Kafisi.
Mm.
Keep going there. Yeah, but sorry, back to that brain thing. You said it was becoming a spike. And talking about studies. You ever seen that documentary about water by that Japanese dude?
Don't think so.
He's like he would freeze water molecules. So like what did he do, man? He because we're like 80% water,
yeah,
right? So what this guy would do is like he would get he started with water, and he froze he figured out a way, like when a snowflake comes down and it's like in that perfect shape. He figured out how to freeze water into that perfect shape, and he went and got water from the tap, water from the sewage, like just filtered water, and then water from like nature in a spring.
Yeah.
And he iced them all up, made them icicles and stuff. The one from nature that was from a spring was like this. They all like it was in a hexagonal pattern, but it was like beautiful, all these patterns and stuff. You go to the purified water, it was literally just a hexagon.
Yeah.
You go down to the tap water, it's kind of a fucked up hexagon. It's not perfectly symmetrical, right? Then you go to the one from the sewage, it's not even a fucking hexagon. It's fucking messed up, right? And it was crazy. Like this guy did this test so many times of like he was like started collecting water from like all over Japan and shit, and like ordering water. Like he was just and like figuring stuff out. And obviously the conclusion is if you get like water from nature that's living as water's meant to live, it's beautiful and shit works. And if you don't, like if it's just purified, it's normal or neutral. And if it's been fucked up going through taps where it's not meant to be, or in the sewage, then it's messed up. And this guy started doing it. He did this thing with onions. He had 3 onions. He put these 3 onions in 3 different rooms. All right. The middle room, no one went into the room. The onion just stayed there, like in a box or something. And the other room, at the end, he hired these school kids, or he like got these school kids in to go into this room and say bad things to this onion. And on the other room, kids would go in and say good things to the onion. Over time, this onion started decaying and got all messed up. The one in the middle that no one talked to was like kind of decaying, and the one that people were like saying positive things to was still a good onion. Yeah, it was crazy, man. And then he did this with water. And actually, when I was living in France, because I saw the documentary again and it tripped me out. Me and my wife, we did it with rice. Yeah, bro, we got these 2 jars. It was fucking crazy, man, because it worked. We got these 2 jars, same jars, right? Same jars. These jam jars. We put 100 grams of rice, all right?
Yeah.
Put in these jars, and we put like one jar would every day would go say nice things to the jar, and the other jar would like just be a dick to this jar, right? And over time, and we even told Jennifer's parents about it, and they like joined in, and we were like talking shit to this jar of rice, and like being all loving to this other jar of rice, bro. Like after a week or so, this rice jar that we were talking shit to, in the middle, like right dead center in the middle, was going black and like kind of making like spikes and shit. Wow. Like the mold was becoming spiky. It was fucked up, man. And this other one, it was like all yellowy and shiny. It was still decaying. Yeah. But it was like you wouldn't eat it, obviously. But it was shiny and like yellowy. Yeah. Like a bright, positive, like you looked at it like, that's some positive rice. This rice is fucking this rice is successful. You can tell, you know? Yeah. And this rice on fucking drugs and shit. Like, you can tell, right? Yeah. One day, man, This is crazy. One day, Jennifer's dad talked shit to the good rice. The next day, the rice was fucked up, man. Straight was crazy, man. Because we didn't know. Like, I came in and I was like, why the good rice getting all fucked up now? And I was like asking her, what happened to the rice? Why is this rice fucked up? And we figured out that Jennifer's dad talked shit to the wrong jar. Right?
Was it cooked rice or?
It was cooked rice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cooked rice.
Yeah.
And it just shows, like, you can be as positive as that rice, but if you're gonna get negativity in your life, it can like mess you up.
Mm.
You know, you positive, you gotta be stronger, because we could have said nice things to this bad job, but it's already fucked up.
Yeah.
It's gonna pretty hard to change that piece of rice, you know. But it was crazy that it actually worked. It was amazing, and I'm just thinking, like, you said it was getting like spiky, and I was like, oh fuck, that was like that rice. It was kind of like getting moldy and spiky.
Yeah.
Like, before you had the tumor, like, were there like negative events going on in your life? Were you under a lot of stress, or like how did this, like, what's your hypothesis or your intuitive feeling of how you actually got the tumor? Because is cancer something that runs in your family?
No, and you know, brain cancer is not, it hasn't been proven to be hereditary at all. Yeah, I just, you know, I thought about it a lot.
I'm sure you've thought about it deeply.
And I got to a point where I'm never going to know.
Yeah.
You know, unless
like science advances or something.
Some kind of technology of figuring out when it started and why it started. But, you know, I really couldn't do it because it just damaged me.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not going to help anything, right?
But in saying that, you know, I've definitely given it thought. So, you know, I had a car accident when I was 18, and it was a real bad car accident, and it was head trauma.
Ooh.
I drove out in front of someone who didn't have his lights on, and there's a 100k zone.